Nadine Dorries has stepped down as Culture Secretary. That's good news for the country, but bad news for those of us who still get a kick out of this kind of solid gold content.
People think he's the first Prime Minister ever to have been found guilty of an offence, a crime.
Oh no, I'm sure there are lots of Prime Ministers who've received fixed penalty notices for lots of things. Speeding? No. It's a fixed penalty notice. I've certainly had to. So I'll hold my hands up to them. Sorry, I didn't have fixed penalty notices for Partygate. They were for speeding.
Have you spoken to the Prime Minister recently in the last 24 hours?
Why? Why are you asking me that question?
I'd like to know.
We've communicated.
I'm really confused. Is that a difficult question? I'm just asking if you've spoken to the Prime Minister in the last 24 hours.
We have communicated.
Okay. What has he communicated to you?
Well, I'm not going to tell you the extent of my communications with the Prime Minister. I mean, I've answered your question. We have communicated. What is your next question?
How can you have a Prime Minister just repeating fake news like that?
Well, I have no idea the background of Keir Starmer, and I know
it's
that
not true, and the Prime Minister repeated it. It's an old meme that's just repeated by.
Well, you know, there were things that Keir Starmer
theorists.
said that someone who was the former Director of Public Prosecutions shouldn't have said at the dispatch box.
He didn't say anything that wasn't true.
He shouldn't have prejudged what a Met investigation was going to
He didn't say anything that was untrue.
Well,
Boris Johnson said something that was untrue.
He said things that were
misled the
inappropriate.
House today.
I don't believe that's the case.
So I would argue that to say that just because Channel 4 has been established as a public service broadcaster and just because it's in receipt of public money, we should never kind of audit the future of Channel 4 and we should never evaluate how Channel 4 looks in the future and whether or not it's a sustainable and viable model. It's quite right that the government should do that.
But Channel 4 is not like the BBC. It's not in receipt of licence fee money. It makes its money from commercial operations.
And so, although it's, and that.
Owen, is it okay to say that I'm going to miss her? Can I say that? Can I say I'm going to miss Nadine Dorries?
She's quite camp, isn't she? I think she kind of appeals to us because we're both sort of gay men, and she's got this kind of chaotic kind of, I don't know, just chaos. I've been on TV with her a few times, and there's some people I've been on who I really can't stand her. I find them obnoxious and ridiculous. I can't hate her. I know her politics are terrible. I know she was trying to privatise Channel 4. She didn't even understand what Channel 4 is when she was trying to privatise it, but she was trying to. But she's just, if she wasn't so toxic and right-wing, she'd just become this sort of pin-up for gay men because of her chaotic camp interventions, which are obviously self-evidently completely ludicrous, and the idea she was ever near high office is itself pretty disturbing. But there's something just so camply amusing about it. I can't actually physically hate her.
The first clip we showed is actually my favourite one. That's just from a couple of weeks ago. That was that's late Dorries content, where she said, "Oh, I've got a fixed notice penalty, not for Partygate, not for speeding, for speeding." It's like, I love that. It's so funny. Our audience shouldn't worry too much, though. Dorries won't be completely disappearing from the spotlight because, as is the nature with British politics and the British establishment, people fail upwards. She is reportedly going to get a job for life in the House of Lords. So all I can say is, TV producers, please keep inviting this woman on. She might not be in the cabinet anymore. She's going to be in the House of Lords. I think she's going to focus on writing her books, but keep getting her on the telly. If anyone needs to defend Liz Truss, it should be Nadine Dorries, because she's good at it.